Hello, Mr. Stimman. Nice to meet you. And I ask you for the first thing. Eric Wolflin once wrote about art. Not all the things are possible in all the epochs. But he was speaking about the arts. But now, for example, in Berlin, it seems otherwise that in Berlin everything is possible in this epoch. What do you think about?
Yeah, Wölflin, it could be a good question, talking about Wölflin, because whenever the people, the architects, talking on architecture, that normally they don't have theoretical backgrounds, so most of these architects are just talking on architecture as a free art, and they produce this type of block architecture and all these things, you know. But I was educated in architectural theory later on, and so I hope that I know what I do. And my decision was that architecture is art, but at the same time it's just simple things for the people. So we have to build something. So it's not pure art. So what do you call it in Germany? Angewandte Kunst. I don't know the translation from that.
Yeah.
So architecture as art needs rules, and the rules come from the city, from the community, and that what we set up. We gave the rules, some strict rules, and so the Germans feel that there are strict rules, but they're not very strict. They have stricter rules in Paris and in Barcelona and in Vienna and Budapest, but Berlin has been a symbol of freedom, especially in West Berlin. So all these architects in the 50s, 60s and 70s, they had the idea we can do everything. So it's the sky is open, every object is welcome, forgot the history and forgot rules. Rules means this is a dictatorship. So and then we had the possibility in Berlin to see what happened really in reality. So we live in the city. I live in the city since 30 years, and we have the feeling there was something wrong. So everybody, normally all these intellectuals, this architects, these journalists, they live in the 19th century, so produced 19th century areas, 19th century buildings, built under very strict rules. So that was the point when we go more back to the roots of our discipline, and we founded some rules. It was the IBA time, and so now when I came in power, now 13 years ago, it's not very long. So I said, okay, every architect is welcome. So we need internationality, but we set up some rules from the city. Some very simple rules, and so that's what's my personal.
In this sort of speediness, incredible speediness, it's very easier to do capital errors for the new developments of Berlin. I mean, can be. This change, everything is changed in such a speedy way that is really possible to do errors.
Absolutely, yeah, but the transformation process in Berlin is really absolutely high-speed train. So let me say, give you one figure. So when we when Berlin started, Berlin had on the highest peak has been in the late 20s. Berlin was a city of industry, the big city of industry, modern industry in Germany. They had all the headquarters of bank, insurance companies, etc., etc. But now, and that time they had 1.4 million people, industry people, working class people. Now we have 110,000, so nearly nothing, less than 10%. We have more professors than industry workers. So the economy, the structure of the city changed. It has totally changed, so completely changed. There's nothing what remembers us to the 20s or to the 19th century. But the city structure, it's not necessary that the city structure changed every 10 years. So that was a mistake, the theoretical mistake what architects and planners and other people thought. So we need another city for another economical structure, and that's what I learned from Italy, what I learned from Aldo Rossi. We don't need every 10 years a new type of city.
When you hear that Berlin is compared to Shanghai or Eastern megalopolis, so place without identity, I mean for us, without identity, what do you think about? What do you feel?
Berlin has nothing to do with Shanghai. We are, in this scale, we are a small European city. So when I travel to Shanghai or to East Asia, I come back to Berlin and say, my God, that's what we are talking about. So is there a holiday or what is it? So nobody is in the city, every city is empty, it's green, it's open. And when one comes back from Shanghai, for instance, everything's overcrowded, extreme dance. So Berlin has still 3.4 million people since 40 years. So it's just a society.
Also, this new architecture. I mean, high-tech architect. The new high-tech architecture in Berlin is not similar. With
it's similar,
some Eastern megalopolis.
The similar in technical, in terms of technique.
Not
so
the aim of the city.
It's not what. First, it's not what we want, and second, it's the majority of the buildings are done in a more traditional way. So we have one Helmut Jahn, you know, that at the Potsdamer Platz, a big machine, but beside that we have Hans Koloff. On the other side we have Wilma Sattler and Chipperfield, so more traditional buildings. So it's a mixture of this international operating technique oriented.
So in this mix, how we can recognize the identity of a city, how we can recognize the identity of a city, and how we can recognize the identity of Berlin.
Yeah, this is the key question. Identity.
Everywhere is the key question.
From my point of view, it's first identity is what you have. You have an identity, or you don't have an identity. And Berlin has an identity, but the identity, that is the question. What is the identity? From my point of view, is the identity as Aldo Rossi said, it's connected to the monuments. So we have these old churches and the street under in London with the museums, etc. So that's a part of our identity. We have this 19th century structure surrounding the old city, and we should keep this identity and work with it. Well, so and there's another fraction. So the people from the organic architecture idea of the planning fraction, they say the identity of Berlin is this non-identity. So we have this is like we have different fragments from all these periods. So it's like a picture with ice. This big ice in the North Pole, you know, it's not homogeneous. This is we have one period from the Nazis and another period from the 50s and from the 60s, and it comes together, but it doesn't create a new type of city. It doesn't create a type of city I think a city should look like, but it's a new type of city. So we have this crossover crash situation when you go to the like she's look like. So for my son, when he comes to me, he said, "Hannes, there's something wrong with your shirt or whatever."
Yeah.
No, you don't understand. This is very expensive. This is from diesel, and this is from this is crossover. Yeah. So this is the younger people have the feeling that these type of city what was created during the 50s, 60s, 70s, and in East and West, it creates the right situation. You have been in Berlin, you know Berlin. Yeah. So the Potsdamer Platz, and on the other side we have this Sharon area with the Philharmonie. So this is extreme in theory, and in practice extreme positions in town planning and architecture. They come together, but they don't come together. So there's nothing what brings them together. This is two parts. They stand in different positions, and they said, "This is exactly what we want. Huh? We have every 10 years we have another."
But I think that this is a city.
And young people the young people like Berlin for this situation, not for the 19th century. They live in the 19th century. They don't live in this area. They live in the 19th century areas in Prenzlauer Berg, produced in the middle of the 19th century. But they like intellectually. They like this
multicultural.
So this is the intellectual and political structure and within struggle in our city.
So do you think that the use of material or use of new material can emphasize this identity or non-identity of the city?
Yeah, I mean, every city has a color, and every city has
the color of Berlin?
The main material what comes normally from this area.
Yeah.
So the color of Berlin is this plaster color. So Berlin is there's just sand. So we don't have marble. So it's sand, and then they produced brick buildings, and then they plastered it, and they painted it in yellow gray or whatever. So this color from the 19th century. So that is our color.
And what about the new materials?
New material is there is no new material. They used steel in the 19th century over the. This steel is one of our identity material, because the railway stations and all these big buildings from 19th century, the factory building, were produced by steel and glass. So the steel and glass is not new. Both are material from the 19th century. And what really new is this plastic material. Plastic, titanium, aluminium. So, but it's not.
Are they integrated on the city or not?
Yeah, we don't have rules for that. If someone wants to use this material, it's a decision what has to be made by the owner, so by the investor. But we don't have rules in Berlin that we say this is not allowed and this is allowed. Everybody can do what he wants. But you ask me if it does it create a new image? No. It's the new image was the new image of Berlin. A new image of Berlin was created by these prefabricated blocks. When we have this 19th century image, the older image has been destroyed. So from the 15th and 16th century, there's one Renaissance building. So this is Gothic. Everything is gone. But we have 19th century industry building this flat, and we have the prefabricated blocks from the 60s in the last century. So we have more than 1/3 of Berliners live in these blocks. So these prefabricated blocks, what they used it in the former DDR, and so this gives Berlin a very specific atmosphere. This type of architecture, this is a very specific way for prefabrication. What they did it in the DDR, they did it like they did it in the Soviet Union or in Poland.
So I mean, so architecture and also social.
And this gives a specific. Whenever you go to this Marzahn, Hellersdorf, Hohenschönhausen, you have this. This is different from the rest of the city. So because everything is, this is a type of socialist structure. So because everything has the same color, the same material, the same construction,
the same dimension,
then the same dimension, there is this not strictly separated private and public. Everything is private or semi-public. So, and this is a very specific situation.
So briefly.
Therefore, last week we had a wonderful situation. Part of these prefabricated blocks are empty. We have empty flats, 150,000 empty flats now in Berlin. So, and we gave public money to demolish these blocks.
So was it possible?
So it's possible, and then they kept one eine Platte. So I want this part of this thing and put it in the Deutsche Historische Museum. So it's not the museum what Aldo Rossi designed. You know that it was
the new one.
They stopped at the new one and
the pay one.
Pay one,
Okay.
And straight under the Linden. Schlüter is an old building, and they put an architectural monument. This part of this prefabricated
archetype
it comes in the museum.
So briefly, the last question: what do you think about the new architecture intervention in Italy?
In Italy,
where?
We don't travel to Italy to see new architecture normally.
It's a polite, polite answer.
We have got some interesting buildings. We are sitting in the
because all of us look at Berlin. So everyone in Europe.
The problem is you're in a happy situation because you kept your old city. Genoa is existing, so there is a new opera house. So it's done, but I think it's a good building. And this is a new situation. The harbor side is renewed, not only here but in.
And what about the new architecture? Do you know anything about new architecture, for example, in Rome or?
No, not really. No. So when we travel to Italy, what we normally see.
We see the past. We see Villa Triana or Palazzo Farnese. Okay.
Sorry about that, but I fall in love with Italy. I know a lot of. We're sitting here in a part of new architecture done by Renzo Piano.
Okay.
Okay.
So I thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Stimman.